Economics is a notoriously inexact science, but if there's one constant, it's a continuous rise in the cost of energy. As the new millennium dawns, our most vital energy needs remain hostage to political instability, to dwindling natural resources, and to a growing alarm over the effect of pollution from coal and other fossil fuels, as well as electricity generated by nuclear power. As energy production remains mired in decades-old technologies and practices, it becomes clear that a crisis is waiting to happen. Energy crises are not new to Americans, but since the embargoes and shortages of the 1970s, there's been a growing demand for alternate sources of energy that are reliable and safe. Ironically, as this demand continues to grow, the prospect seems farther and farther away, but that may be changing. Congress recently passed legislation to deregulate the nation's power companies, opening the door for smaller entrepreneurial companies to tackle the problem with new insights and fresh ideas. I decided to take a closer look at the company that claims to have an unusual, indeed an intriguing plan to reinvent the electric power companies in America. The building you see behind me is home to one very promising energy innovator. Not only has this company developed new technologies that promise to revolutionize the production of electric power, they've also developed a truly unique concept in financing and distributing that power. This approach will offer consumers the ability to generate electric power from their own homes, in effect, to become their own power companies. The result? A household could generate enough electric power to meet all its needs while sending large volumes of surplus energy back into the power grid. The net effect would be an abundant amount of electric power for the consumer, power that is environmentally friendly and absolutely free. For the people at Better World Technologies, the name says it all: ending fossil fuel pollution, providing an energy abundance to meet the needs of the world's growing population, developing a wide range of innovative technologies to transform and improve the way people live. For Better World's president, Dennis Lee, the company's mission is clear.
Everyone is talking about a new world. At Better World Technologies, we do not want a new world, we want a better world. Technology is vital to our humanity, community, enlightenment, welfare, comfort, progress, safety, liberty, enjoyment of life and health. Where would we be without technical advances? Society looks back to previous times and wonders how we ever got by without our present-day technologies. Unfortunately, advancement is not made easy by the entrenched businesses who want to continue exploiting yesterday's advances. Our vision at Better World Technology is to encourage excellence and to give the consumer alternatives to traditional technologies. We pledge to have the courage to confront powerful self-interests and to make a stand against the suppression of technical alternatives that are vital to the growth of our society. We will do all that is within our ability, without fear or hesitation, to promote God's blessings for mankind and work to build a better world today.
One huge expression of this vision is generating free electricity using the Hummingbird motor and the Sundance generator. The Sundance generator is what experts have called the most unique generator in the world. Traditionally, a generator uses copper wires called windings to generate power. The windings get hot as they generate power, and eventually they break. When that happens, the generator can no longer operate. It must be replaced or sent back to the factory to be rebuilt. This built-in obsolescence has been eliminated from the Sundance generator. Each of the unit's 15 pairs of windings put out 2 kilowatts each and can be replaced as easily and safely as changing a fuse. One pair can be changed while the other 14 continue to generate power. This revolutionary design will allow the Sundance generator to operate for over a century without needing to be replaced. At certain speeds, the permanent magnets inside the generator actually overdrive the motor that runs it, so that at times the generator actually powers itself. The Sundance generator is driven by what some experts have called the most efficient electric motor in the world. It's called the Hummingbird because it packs so much power into such a small package, doing things that are difficult even for some scientists to believe. The motor that drives this unique generator is powered by one of the oldest forces in nature, permanent magnets. Now, if you're like me, magnetism has been a source of fascination since childhood. What's the secret of this powerful, invisible force? Why does it attract and repel? How can it defy gravity? Magnets are a mystery even to the brightest of scientists. Whatever force is in them, it is very reliable and present everywhere, anytime, day or night, in hot or cold climates.
I'd like to do some simple demonstrations of the power that we have in magnets. This is a magnet, and it has mass, weight, volume. If I drop it, as you would expect, it falls. It responds to gravity. However, if I take a metallic object like this steel panel and I attach it to the side of the steel panel, you notice it isn't falling anymore. What power is in this that is causing it to defy gravity? That power, it's obviously not plugged into electricity or anything, but that's a tremendous source of power. Wouldn't it be neat if we could plug into the same power that can cause this to continually defy gravity to power our homes and everything else? Now, I have some other magnets here. These are less powerful than those, but you can see they are magnetic. One is holding the other. And what I'm going to do is I'll show you a demonstration. If I take and reverse the poles on this, I've got the north and the south, two souths that are working against one another. Right now they're pushing against each other, and you'll notice what happens when I withdraw one of my hands. When I take my left hand away, it pushed it away. So that's a force of push or a force of pull. Now, so you can see what happens. See, it just pushes it away. Watch what happens when I lift it up a little bit. You see the effect on the second magnet? I can control that magnet using the force of this one. So that is a force. Now, if I turn them all the way up, it draws it right back to itself again. Show you another idea. It's defying gravity. So now talk about defying gravity. One magnet on the base, the other magnet lifts it right straight up. There's a tremendous amount of power in magnets. These are not very powerful right here, but there's a lot that isn't understood about magnets. And if you're a scientist or you talk to a scientist, scientists don't know everything there is to know about magnetics. This is a piece of copper. Copper is non-magnetic. So it's a non-magnetic piece of copper. You'll notice that the magnet does not stick to the copper. However, look what happens. Maybe we can bring our camera and look into it. Look what happens when I drop this ordinary magnet, or that's not an ordinary magnet, it's a very special magnet, but when I drop this magnet into the center of this non-magnetic material, this specialty magnet, you can see what happens. Now watch, it's kind of like an astronaut floating in space. There it goes. Kind of an interesting experiment. Now, the magnets that we're actually using, this is one of the magnets that's in both the Hummingbird motor and the Sundance generator. There's close to 100 magnets between these two products in unity. Very, very, very powerful magnet. If you got two of these magnets with your finger between them, your finger would be crushed. They're very, very, very powerful. As a matter of fact, I have two of them together right here, and it is impossible for anybody to pull them apart. I'm going to show you the power that there is in this. But this is a very, very, very unique magnet, and this magnet has a tremendous amount of force. Now, just to give you an illustration of that, let me show you what happens when we drop this special magnet down into our non-magnetic copper tubing. See how long it takes for it to go down? It's still going down. I mean, it takes forever for that magnet to go all the way down to the bottom, even though it does have weight, does have mass, does have volume. It takes a long, long time for it to get all the way down to the bottom of that and finally fall out. So, non-magnetic material, yet look at the effect that we had with these very special magnets that we have. Now, I'm going to give you an illustration over here now. We're going to use a couple of my assistants, and we're going to take these very powerful magnets, and we're going to show you how much force it takes to pull them apart Like you can't do this with your hands. My assistants over here now could just come over on each side, grab a weight. Now right here we have 25 pounds. Marilyn, you have to stand to the side there. 25 pounds, 10 pounds, and 5 pounds, so that's 40 pounds of weight. Pulling right here are the two magnets. They're together now, and 40 pounds will not pull them apart. So we're going to put 25 pounds equally on both sides at the same time. So now we have another 50 pounds. We have 90 pounds of force pushing down on these magnets. They still don't do it, so let's take two 5-pounders and put them together at the same time on each side. You notice it still doesn't do it. We're up to 100 pounds of force now of weight. Let's take these 2.5-pound weights, 5 more pounds, and put it on and see if it happens. Well, we're at 105 pounds. I had to use my fingers. So we have roughly 100 pounds of force between these two. Now we'll just take these back off again. Put them on the back. Put them in the back. Now we made another little unit here that we specially contrived. This time we have the two magnets together, and we're going to push down on them. How much force does it take to push the two together? The first thing we're going to do is take the 50-pounder. We're going to put a 50-pound weight on that, and we will see what happens. Does it bring them completely together? No. If you look, there's still a space here. They're still not totally together. Marilyn, you put your 25-pounder on. We still do have some space between them, but when we put the last 25 pounds on, 100 pounds, now it all comes together. So you have 100 pounds of force to pull them apart, 100 pounds of force to push them together. These are very, very, very powerful magnets. Now, the next thing I'd like to show you is how does a motor run? How do you get a motor to go around? Well, you have magnets that are attracted and not attracted. So they push and they pull. Well, normally you take electricity, you would electrify a magnet by running electricity, and you would magnetize the material. The material then would pull toward another magnet or another piece of metal, and then you demagnetize it so that it'll go past it, so you can continue to magnetize, demagnetize, and keep a wheel moving. But you cannot do that with permanent magnets because you can't unmagnetize them. So the reason why they use electricity for electromagnetic motors is so they can magnetize, demagnetize in the proper fashion to get it to run and turn a shaft. Now we're going to show you that you can do that with permanent magnets if you know how to finesse them. David? These are permanent magnets, and there's a permanent magnet at the bottom so that we can use attraction and repulsion in a proper fashion. We're going to turn this wheel for you now, this shaft, using regular permanent magnets. There's not plugged into anything. There's no electricity in this whatsoever, but the wheel is turning. Thank you, David. So those are some of the illustrations of the power in magnets and the way that they can be finessed and used. We can't get into anything proprietarily about exactly the way we're using them in the Hummingbird and the Sundance motor, but I'll show you that, some more footage of that. You'll be able to see them operate. Most electric motors create rotation by using electricity to briefly magnetize and then demagnetize metals and control the push and pull of magnetic forces. By timing when the metals are magnetic and when they are not, they can make the shaft on a wheel rotate. It's that rotating shaft that drives a generator. Normally this cannot be done with permanent magnets, even though it would require no electricity. That's because the permanent magnets, like the name suggests, remain magnetic all the time. Unlike electromagnets, they cannot be turned on and off. We are developing a way to use a small amount of electricity from a battery to unlock the unlimited power that exists in permanent magnets. When that happens, we not only can get the shaft of the generator turning, but we also can feed electricity back to the batteries and keep them charged. We built a 10-horsepower model of the process and tested it before 45 live audiences nationwide. During those tests, we measured the input from the batteries. We also used a professional metering device to measure the work that we were getting out of the motor. The input from the batteries was measured at 450 watts, while the output of the motor was tested at 3.1 horsepower, which is the equivalent of 2,300 watts. We were therefore able to prove that the output of the Hummingbird motor exceeded the input of the motor by a ratio of 5 to 1. In other words, the Hummingbird put out 5 times as much power as it received from the batteries. The extra energy was supplied by the permanent magnets. It is our belief that the project will soon be completed. When it is, we will be able to put the Hummingbird and the Sundance together and begin manufacturing and distribution. This is a model of what they will look like, completed and ready for installation in your home. They're about the size of a window air conditioner and can be installed anywhere inside or outside your home.
The International Tesla Electric Company, or ITEC, is so convinced of the viability of their permanent magnet motor that in late 1999, they sponsored a nationwide tour of 45 meetings in 30 states. This ad, placed in USA Today, was an open invitation to all scientists to come to a live test and demonstration of the technology. The scientists were also invited to bring their own test meters and measure the devices themselves. At 45 shows, the figures Mr. Lee gave were verified, witnessed by thousands of technical and non-technical people. At every stop, citizens were amazed by the incredible demonstrations they saw. Prior to this tour, Better World Technology did a private show for the Congress of the United States, and every government official in Washington, D.C., even the President and the U.S. Attorney General, were invited to attend. That was just before Congress passed legislation to deregulate the electric utilities in 1996. Better World Technologies develops the technology, and the International Tesla Electric Company will use it to take advantage of deregulation. The company is hoping soon to complete the final model so ITEC can put it on homes and commercial projects. The company decided that the right size for what ITEC has in mind is a unit that can produce 30 kilowatts per hour. The Sundance generator can produce 1 kilowatt per winding and has 30 windings, so it's perfect for the job. But the 10 horsepower Hummingbird motor is too small to power a 30 kilowatt generator. So Better World Technologies is currently working on a 50 horsepower prototype of the same style as the proven 10 horsepower Hummingbird model. To meet everyday needs like heating, cooling, hot water, appliances, and light, an all-electric household uses an average of 2 kilowatts per hour, or a little over 17,000 kilowatts per year. Once installed in such a household, the Hummingbird Sundance unit is expected to produce 30 kilowatts per hour, enough to power 15 all-electric homes. In this way, a percentage of homes can be modified to provide the power to all homes through the common grid system and, in effect, decentralize power production in America. Our country would be considerably less vulnerable to accidents and emergencies that cause power failures and outages. ITEC intends to give you, the homeowner, 26,000 kilowatts of free electricity every year as an allotment for letting the company use your home as access to the grid. That's 50% more power than you need for all your energy needs. The excess electricity produced will be sold back to the power companies. The unit will remain the property of ITEC, but your power will be free for as long as ITEC can sell the excess power, possibly for life. The quiet, non-polluting generator will require no outside energy. The unit will be serviced and maintained at absolutely no cost to the household where it's installed. Obviously, it's to the advantage of ITEC to keep it operational, because the company makes its money selling the excess power from these units. If the units aren't running properly, ITEC can't make money. For homeowners, there's nothing to buy and nothing to lose. ITEC has investment capital to provide the hardware, so it's a good deal for everyone. The electric company gets low-cost, non-polluting electricity for resale to other homes. The participating homeowner gets their power for free, and ITEC sells the power that costs them nothing to produce to the electric company. And everyone gets rid of the acid rain we're currently dumping into our environment, and the sulfur oxides that coal-fired plants are putting into our drinking water. Win, win, win.
As you've just seen, there is a plan to efficiently generate an abundance of safe, non-polluting electricity. It offers Americans and others all sorts of benefits. The international Tesla Electric Company and Better World Technologies is offering us all a much better alternative to the energy situation we now face. For those of you who act quickly, this is the chance to make your own declaration of energy independence. You may never have to pay an energy bill again, ever. To accomplish this, we invite you to sign up to be one of the sites we use to send power into the grid. It will be perfectly safe. You will have double protection from power outages because you get all your power from the generator before any of it is sold over the grid. You are still connected to the outside grid, and if anything happens to this equipment, the power will still be able to flow to you from the electric company, and it works both ways. iTech would pay your electric bill for any power you need due to a failure in our equipment. The hardware we soon hope to deliver will be installed by a licensed electrician who will get all the necessary permits. We will own and operate the generator, much like the electric company now owns the meter at your home. iTech will pay all the expenses. You're required to pay nothing. It is truly free to you. Now, this is not a something-for-nothing program. You're helping us help everyone. This offer is good for residences of all types. Renters as well as homeowners are eligible to take part, but you must get the permission of the property owner if you don't own your residence. This will be done on a first-come, first-served basis. If you want to join the vanguard of consumers and declare your energy independence and never pay another energy bill, join now. So make your declaration of energy independence today. You have absolutely nothing to lose.